Hulk Hogan, real name Terrence Eugene Balea, was born August 11th, 1953 in Augusta, Georgia. As a boy, he was a pitcher in Little League Baseball. He attracted scouts from the New York Yankees and the Cincinnati Reds, but an injury ended his baseball career. He began watching professional wrestling at 16 years old. While in high school, he revered Dusty Rhodes and he regularly attended cards at the Tampa Sportatorium. It was at one of those wrestling cards where he first turned his attention towards superstar Billy Graham and looked to him for inspiration. In May 1979, Hogan had an early shot at the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, which at the time was generally recognised as the highest honour in wrestling, and the match was against Harley Race. On December 1st, 1979, Hogan won his first professional wrestling championship, the NWA Southeastern Heavyweight Championship, where he wrestled under the ring name Sterling Golden. Before making it big in the WWF, Hogan would also have stints in New Japan Pro Wrestling and the AWA, the American Wrestling Association. Hogan became the face of professional wrestling in the 1980s, launching the phenomenon known as Hulkamania, which of course came with Hulk's 3 demandments of training, saying your prayers, and eating your vitamins. The centerpiece attraction for the first WrestleMania on March 31st, 1985, Hogan teamed with legit friend, TV and movie star Mr. T to defeat his arch rival Rowdy Roddy Piper and Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. Hogan was named the most requested celebrity of the 1980s for the Make-A-Wish Foundation children's charity. He was featured on the covers of Sports Illustrated, TV Guide and People magazines, while also appearing on The Tonight Show and having his own CBS Saturday morning cartoon titled Hulk Hogan's Rockin' Wrestling. Hogan, as the premier WWF icon, headlined 7 of the first 8 WrestleMania events. At WrestleMania 3 in 1987, Hogan was booked to defend his World Heavyweight Championship against Andre the Giant, who had been the sport's premier star and was pushed as undefeated for the previous 15 years. Hogan would successfully defend his championship against Andre the Giant in front of 93,000 strong at the Pontiac Silverdome. During the match, Hogan hit a body slam on the 520-pound Andre, which was dubbed the body slam heard around the world, and won the match after a leg drop. Hogan enjoyed considerable mainstream popularity between the mid-1980s and early 1990s in the World Wrestling Federation, where he would have legendary matches, the stuff of folklore, with the Ultimate Warrior at WrestleMania 6, feuding and teaming with Randy Savage as the Mega Powers, and he was the first wrestler to win consecutive Royal Rumbles in 1990 and 1991. Hogan would leave the World Wrestling Federation in 1993 and join WCW in 1994. However, the red and yellow Hulkamania gimmick had begun to lose its shine, and Hogan would even find himself being booed by the fans. So it was in 1996 at WCW's Bash at the Beach during a 6-man tag team match, which was pitting the Outsiders, Kevin Nash and Scott Hall, and their mystery third man against Sting, Randy Savage and Lex Luger. And that third man would turn out to be, of course, none other than Hogan himself, attacking Randy Savage and joining the NWO, becoming a villain for the first time in nearly 15 years. And after the match, Hogan delivered an infamous promo bashing the fans and WCW for underappreciating his talent and drawing power, and announcing the formation of the New World Order. The new stable gained prominence in the following weeks and months. Hogan grew a beard alongside his famous mustache and dyed it black, and traded in the red and yellow for his new black and white clothing, often detailed with lightning bolts, and renamed himself Hollywood Hogan. Hogan's heel turn has since gone down in folklore and one of the biggest and most shocking events in wrestling history. Hogan's heel turn and the formation of the NWO were major reasons why the WCW defeated the WWF in the ratings for nearly 2 consecutive years. It was at No Way Out in February 2002 that Hogan returned to the WWF. returning as leader of the original NWO with Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. The NWO feuded with both Austin and The Rock, and Hogan accepted The Rock's challenge to a match at WrestleMania 18. Despite the fact that Hogan was supposed to be the villain in the match, the crowd cheered for him heavily. The Rock cleanly won the contest and befriended Hogan at the end of the bout, and helped him fight off Hall and Nash, who were upset by Hogan and The Rock's newfound friendship. In April of 2002, Hogan would feud with Triple H, and he defeated him for the undisputed WWF Championship and sixth and final WWF Championship at Backlash, thus becoming the last ever WWF Champion before the initials had to change to WWE because of the dispute with the World Wildlife Fund. Hogan would lose his undisputed championship in May at Judgment Day to The Undertaker. Hogan would defeat Mr. McMahon at WrestleMania 19 in a no-holds-barred street fight in a match billed as 20 years in the making. After WrestleMania 19, he had a run as the masked Mr. America. He used the Real American as his entrance theme and all of Hogan's signature gestures, moves and phrases. Mr. America's last WWE appearance would be on the June 26 episode of SmackDown. After the show went off the air, Mr. America unmasked to show the fans that he was indeed Hogan. The next week, Hogan quit WWE due to frustration with the creative team. On the July 3rd episode of SmackDown, McMahon showed the footage of Mr. America unmasking as Hogan and fired him, although Hogan had already quit in real life. Hogan would also return to the WWE in 2005 to battle HBK Shawn Michaels at SummerSlam in a match which Hogan won. In October of 2009, it was announced that Hogan had signed a contract to join TNA on a full-time basis. In January of 2010, Hogan debuted, reuniting briefly with former NWO partners Kevin Nash, Scott Hall and Sean Waltman. He, however, refused to join them for a full-fledged reunion of their group, claiming, quote, "It's a different time." Hogan and Eric Bischoff would go on to form the stable known as Immortal and teamed with Ric Flair's alliance known as Fortune. And in March of 2011, Hogan would declare himself the new owner of TNA, having won the court battle against Dixie Carter. In April, he began hinting at a possible return to the ring to face the TNA World Heavyweight Champion, Sting. Hogan was defeated by Sting at Bound for Glory, ending his storyline as the president of TNA. After the match, the faction Immortal would attack Sting, but Hogan turned into a fan favourite once again by turning on his old group Immortal, and he helped out the Stinger. In October of 2013 on Impact Wrestling, Hogan refused an offer from Dixie Carter to become her business partner and quit. This was done to officially write Hogan off as a result of his contract expiring with TNA. Hogan's crossover popularity led to several television and movie roles. Early in his career, Hogan played the part of Thunderlips in Rocky III. He also appeared in No Holds Barred before starring in family films Suburban Commando, Mr. Nanny, Santa with Muscles, and Three Ninjas. He also starred in his own television series Thunder in Paradise in 1994. Hogan would make cameo appearances in Muppets from Space, Gremlins 2, and Spy Hard. In December of 1983, Hogan married Linda Claridge. They have a daughter, Brooke, and a son, Nick. Hogan made his personal life the centerpiece of the television show Hogan Knows Best, which included his wife and 2 children. In November of 2007, Linda would file for divorce from Hogan, claiming that he had had extramarital affairs. Hogan acknowledged that Linda on numerous occasions suspected he was having infidelities whenever he developed friendships with other women, but Hogan denies allegations that he ever cheated on her. Hogan only retained around 30% of the couple's liquid assets, totaling around $10 million in the divorce settlement. Hogan has been in a relationship with Jennifer McDaniel since early 2008. The two were engaged in November 2009 and married in December of 2010 in Clearwater, Florida. Simply put, Hulk Hogan is the most recognised wrestling star worldwide and the most popular wrestler of the 1980s. A regular pay-per-view main eventer and box office draw in both the WWE and WCW, Hogan headlined WrestleManias and Starrcades multiple times. And against Sting, he closed the most profitable WCW pay-per-view ever at the 1997 edition of Starrcade. Hogan has won multiple awards for Pro Wrestling Illustrated, including 4 Match of the Year awards, 3 Most Popular Wrestler of the Year awards. He has won Wrestler of the Year award 3 times and Most Inspirational Wrestler of the Year twice. Hogan is a 12-time world champion, a 6-time WWE World Heavyweight Champion, and a 6-time WCW World Heavyweight Champion. And in 2005, Sylvester Stallone would induct Hogan into the WWE Hall of Fame, confirming the Hulkster's immortality in the world of professional wrestling. Thanks heaps guys for tuning into the video. Be sure to drop a scorpion death drop on that like button and subscribe to the channel for more awesome pro wrestling action from the WWE, the WCW and much more.